Yeah. Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going? Welcome to episode number 906 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition, live today from Red Morton Park because the sun's going to be setting in about 15 minutes. Got some great things to talk about here today. And yeah, good stuff. All good stuff. Some updates on the GNA Positivity Pledge. And yeah, standing up for your beliefs defines you. Standing up for your beliefs defines you. That's the topic today. Okay. And it's a very important topic. Hey, babe, how are you doing? I decided to go to Red Morton Park because it was getting later and I can do 3 laps here. Thank you so much for being here, babe, and for your continued support. You've been coming around a lot lately, babe. That's greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. But yeah, standing up for your beliefs defines you. If you don't stand up for what you believe in, then something else is going to define you. It's probably going to be something negative, and who likes negative stuff, right? I know I don't. Some other people come off like they like negative stuff, but it's just a front. It's a mask. They're putting on a mask to try to hide the pain that they feel deep within, that they're not ready to talk about and release and let go and move on, right? Don says, respectfully, maturely, and professionally, of course, I will always support you. Well, that's really nice to hear, babe. Thank you. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I paid you to say that. I'm just kidding. My own woman pretends to support me. No, I'm just kidding, babe. I'm kidding, right? Babe, in spite of lots of stuff that we've encountered in life and dealt with online and offline, we gotta take it all with a grain of salt and have a good laugh at it every now and then, right? By the way, while Don is here, I forgot to mention this yesterday. First of all, I did a stream on the main channel. In case you missed that stream, I believe it has close to 400 views. I shared a little bit more about the GNA Positivity Pledge there in detail, but I'm going to update you folks on that as well again today because there is a major update. And there's also something else I was going to do today, but in spite of some other things that came up, we postponed that until tomorrow. So I'm announcing here today that tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, on the other channel, the main channel, GNA Genuine Personal Development, my girlfriend Dawn and I, along with Tia, will be going live on the main channel for about an hour or so. Dawn and Tia will be coming on audio only. I'll be coming on video as I always do. But Dawn and Tia will be coming on audio only, per my request. We're going to start doing some more video stuff with our guests and other GNA executives and members. But for right now, there's a reason for everything. There's a method to our madness. And we're going to be talking more about what the GNA Positivity Pledge means. You know, Dawn's going to share her thoughts. Tia's going to share her thoughts. And Tia's also going to be sharing her thoughts on how the GNA has helped her. And we'll look forward to having you on the show. This is going to be Tia's first live stream appearance. Yes, it will be audio only, and she's not afraid to come on video, but I'm requesting for right now, at least till the end of the year, that certain guests of mine come on audio only. And again, there's a reason for that. I don't have to explain that. I'm not going to, but there's a reason for that. We got to give you all a little bit of anticipation, right? Anyway. So yeah, tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, on the other channel, GNA Genuine Personal Development. And you can find that channel link below in the description, a couple lines down. So yeah. Now let's talk about the GNA Positivity Pledge update. There's a major update. If you go to the page right now, you're not going to be able to input. You can see the page is actually publicly viewable. I had it taken down for a little bit because I had some spam issues. And the plugin that I use, the WordPress plugin I use to have the petition function properly, has been having some issues with being able to add what's called a reCAPTCHA to the form. Now, some of you may know the term reCAPTCHA or CAPTCHA, right? Some of you may not, but I'm sure you've all come across it. Whenever you've gone to fill out a form, most of the time you're going to see this little challenge box there. And any form you fill out, or most forms you fill out on the internet, before you can submit your form, you have to click the box and then, maybe do some more clicking, select all the items that look like a bus or whatever, right? That's called a reCAPTCHA. And what the purpose of that is to prevent bots from massively attacking your website. Now, I've had some issues, and I've contacted the owner, the creator of the plugin, and he's working on a fix, and he's going to get me that fix and then update it in the next update. I have the pro version of this update. I paid for a full license of it. And, when I first put out the petition, I couldn't get the CAPTCHA to work. There's two CAPTCHA companies, two major ones. One is Google with reCAPTCHA. They're the big one. And then there's also something called HCAPTCHA. And this plugin has built-in capabilities of both. But when you install, what you have to do to get it to work is you have to install what are known as site keys and secret keys, right? A secret key and a site key and secret key. When I did that, both of those don't function properly. Like right now, if you go to the Positivity Pledge page, you'll see it there. And if you fill out the form and try to enter it, it won't let you. The reCAPTCHA is there, and you can click it, but it won't do anything. It basically disables the ability to send. So not even bots can hammer the site. And so, with that being said, last night, and I don't care about going public on this, doesn't matter. Last night, my website, because of that that issue, not having the recap. I took off the reCAPTCHA while waiting for this to get solved. And my site got massively botted. Now, I know who botted me. I'm not going to mention it. I know who did it. And whatever. You know, I'm a tech expert. I know how to handle these things. I know how to protect the site and all that. But I wanted to get the site up, the page up, before the issue was fixed with the reCAPTCHA. But now, I basically, you know, the site, you can't enter the form. And the only reason why the site's public right now is because the creator / owner of the plugin needs to, you know, have access to see it, to look at the code on the back end, to figure out what's going on, and then get me a fix, and then update his plugin with a fix for everyone. So, you know, the site will probably go back down later tonight. I mean, I could leave it up because, you know, it won't function. Not even bots can bot it right now because they can't bypass the reCAPTCHA. Even if you fill out the form, there's no way. And after I got severely botted last night, that's so pathetic. I can't help but laugh. After I got botted last night, you know, I added even further security. I got some additional security plugins, and I started massively, you know, banning IPs and domain names, and I'm just telling you, there's so much security on the GNA website right now. It's but if you don't have a CAPTCHA on there, no matter how much security you have, you know, they can bot you. And I knew that. I was hoping that it wouldn't happen, but yeah, someone that I know decided to do it. Yeah, it's all good. Not a big deal. You know, I've been living out here in the San Francisco Bay Area all my life. We're the high-tech capital of the world. It's not like I haven't been botted before or been DOS attacked, which stands for denial of service, and I've got great protection, and I know how to handle those situations. So, for the time being right now, I'm hoping the creator of the plugin, the owner of the plugin, got back to me about an hour before I went live here, and he told me he's in progress of working on it. So I'm hoping he sends me an email by later tonight. He's in Australia, actually, 10 hours ahead. I'm hoping he sends me an email tonight with a fix, and then, you know, the site will work properly. If not, until it gets fixed, I can't put the site up without the CAPTCHA or reCAPTCHA because it'll get botted. It'll get botted, especially by people that don't like me for whatever reason, you know. Anyway, so that is that. That is the update. Once again, yesterday, or actually, you know, last night on the main channel, I want to thank Official 1SP for the $50 super sticker. This month actually ended up being a pretty decent month for Google / YouTube money. So thank you to everyone that, you know, send a super chat or a super sticker or a super thanks on the live stream replays or pre-recorded videos. Thank you to the members. Thank you to people that have sent Cash Apps and PayPals. Thank you to everyone, even if you haven't donated and you've just been supportive. It's been amazing, you know, how supportive the people of the GNA and people that have been a part of my neck of the woods out here on YouTube for the last several years. How supportive you folks have been. It's been awesome. So that is that. So let's talk about standing up for your beliefs is what defines you. Standing up for your beliefs is what defines you. You know, I want to start off by saying, and I've said this before in many different ways in the past, but I'll say it in a different way again here tonight. In my younger days, and even in my late to mid 20s, and maybe even through the beginning of my early 30s, I lacked a lot of self-belief in myself. Tia, how's it going? Hey, Don and Eli. Tia, I made the announcement before I checked your message. I'm sure. Actually, you did tell me you're okay with tomorrow. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. your time, 11 a.m. my time, and Don's time. We're going to be going live to do the show we're going to do today, tomorrow on the main channel. Is that all good in the hood? It's all good in the hood, right, Tia? I hope so. I don't like jumping the gun. No, we did talk about it, though, behind the scenes. You bet. Okay, we'll see you there. Audio only. You and Don, audio only. Will come on StreamYard. What I will do, Tia, is I'll send you the StreamYard link when I get back home sometime tonight. So tomorrow when you get up, you can set up your StreamYard. You have to log in with your Google account. And then I believe you have to check your email for the 6-digit code. And once you get that, you enter it in there, and then you can go in and you can add any picture you want. You don't have to put a picture of yourself. You can just leave it blank, or you put whatever you want, and then you put in your name as the way you want it displayed on the stream. And that's that. And then you can exit until shortly before we go live. You know, Don and I will meet you on the StreamYard. Now, I use open broadcast software and incorporate StreamYard into that, but you ladies, your audio will be coming through my OBS through StreamYard. So that is that. It rained pretty good last night, but it's dried up pretty well too. It rained from yesterday afternoon all the way until like 7 or 8 this morning. And then it cleared up. It's been a beautiful day. I don't have my gloves on right now. It's like about 58 degrees right now. It's not too bad. Not too bad. But yeah, like I was saying, you know, I lacked self-belief. You know, I lacked faith in myself. And I gave up on things very easily in my younger days. Probably all the way until my late 20s and even a little bit into my early 30s. When I started to get into my early 30s, I really started to build more confidence and have more belief in, more belief in myself and more self-respect, more self-love, etc. Right? And I'll tell you, folks, that makes all the difference. Having self-love, self-belief, self-respect. All right? It makes all the difference in the world. Because you're going to encounter many challenges in life. Respectfully, maturely, and professionally done. Hey there, Tia, looking forward to tomorrow. Well, look at that. Look at that. The ladies are all set to go. Ladies, God bless both of you. I'm going to tell you something, and I hope this doesn't offend a lot of people. And I don't want to turn the GNA into a Bible thumping organization. I don't want to turn the GNA into a Bible thumping organization, but most people that are a part of the GNA believe in God. And I think what we need to do at some point before any major like events that we do, maybe like on Zoom or Skype or whatever, right? I think we need to say a prayer. I think we need to pray to the Lord. And for the people that don't believe, which are going to be very few anyway, we'll apologize to them before we start, but I'm sure people will be okay. I don't think anyone's ever been offended if people want to pray for 30 seconds or so before something major. I think that in 2025, I really want us to focus a lot more regarding our faith in God and the good Lord Jesus Christ. And I'm not trying to sound like a Bible thumper, I'm not, but that's part of taking 2025 to a whole new level. That's a huge part of taking 2025 to a whole new level. So yeah, ladies, I'm so thrilled your positivity coming into this chat, especially you, babe. Don, you too, T. I'm not trying to favor anyone. Of course I would have to favor Don. I love my woman, don't get me wrong. I will always drop everything for Don over anyone else, but I want you to also know, Tia, we respect you like family. And both of you ladies coming in here and exuding positivity and looking forward to tomorrow is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And God bless both of you, and thank you to the both of you. I don't care to say this publicly. It's a good thing. I'll just say very briefly, Dawn had a very positive conversation with her mother today, and I was there, and her mother said some nice things about me. and that makes me happy. Because I don't like it when that woman's mad. I don't like it. I don't like it. Tell her that. Or I'll tell you what, Don's mother scares me way more than my mother ever has. Don't get me wrong, my mother at times in my younger days, had to teach me discipline and stuff. My mother has always been a good woman, but I've done some dumb things in my younger days. We all have, and then you grow up and you learn, right? That's great all the way around. Yeah, absolutely. I'm hearing Hispanic tuba music. It's awesome. Let's see here. It's all good. I saw this video yesterday. I have to share it on the community wall here. It was about three Mexican guys, three Americanized Mexican guys, doing their version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And it was about vatos. It was something like about vatos coming to town or something like that. It was very funny. It was, these three, they call them cholos. They show up at this white dude's house and they start singing a version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town with like harassing lingo, scaring the white dude, At the very end of the video, the white dude says, or the Hispanic dude said, "Did you like it? Did you like it?" They're like sitting there like, "Oh, did you like it?" They were being cholo-ish, right? It was funny as hell, right? And he's like, "Well, what you guys were saying, it comes off a bit harassing. You guys sound harassing, So that's how I feel. And then the guys look at them. The guys look at the cholos look at the white dude and say, "Oh, just playing, Holmes. Just playing." Oh God. That's how they do it. Like, some of the cholos, they'll come up to you, right? And they don't mean any harm, but they pretend to F with you, right? They pretend to fuck with you to scare you, and then like, "Oh, just playing, Holmes." Oh God. Just playing, Holmes. I gotta share that video. It's pretty funny. I butchered it, but a very cholo Christmas or something. That's not my car. Someone's alarm is going off. There you go. They turned it off. Time to take the shades off here. So yeah, when I was, like I said, when I was younger, I lacked self-belief. As I got older and I started to believe in myself, that's when things started to change for the better, right? And let me tell you, the first thing, and I'm not even talking about YouTube right now. I'm talking about the real world, because a lot of what happens on YouTube happens in the real world too, in similar ways, right? When you start to build your confidence and you become more successful, you take better care of yourself, you wear better clothes, you look good, you carry yourself very well, people around you start to get jealous and they start to react differently around you. All because you choose to be a good person and take care of yourself, right? And you don't realize what's really happening at that point. All you're doing is focusing on bettering yourself, but you're still being cool to other people around you. But as you evolve into a better person, you take better care of yourself, you're physically more attractive, you're wearing better clothing, you have a better attitude, you have more self-confidence, you're just a down-to-earth good person. The more you become into that, especially if before that time, when you weren't there and your friends were in a similar position, and once you get to that level and your friends are still at the former position you were in, they start to get a little jealous and they'll start to react and overreact. And you got to learn to just let all that stuff go. You got to learn to believe in yourself no matter what anyone else says about you. No matter what happens, you got to believe in yourself and you got to keep moving forward. And just like I've mentioned in the past with some of my former friends that I don't think are bad guys or bad people to this day, but I had to part ways with some people because it was going to affect me from becoming the person that I wanted to be, right? And, like I've talked about in the past, and this definitely 1,000,000% holds true. You are who you associate with, even if technically you're a good person, but let's say you're struggling for money and then you hang around, crappy people that make you do dumb things just so you can make more money. You become a crappy person, even though technically you were a good person. You just sunk to their level, right? You are who you associate with. That's the truth of the matter. And that's why I've always said, and I'll keep saying it, choose your friends wisely, right? Choose your friends wisely, right? And you know what? I'm gonna make a statement here today, and I kind of used to feel differently about this, and I've changed my thoughts about this. You've all heard the phrase, keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer, right? right? Keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer. I would have to, in this day and age, disagree with that statement. Because nowadays, the world has evolved into so many different things. You have so many options, more so nowadays, regarding all aspects of life. And you clearly just don't have the time to focus on your enemies at all. Right? Now, the reason why that phrase was created, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, is because you can learn from your enemies, right? And you can learn from your enemies, right? But once you learn from one or two sets of enemies, it's all the same thing with all enemies. Enemies are enemies. They're just there because they're jealous of you, or they've got issues and they want to try to crawl under your skin on purpose so they can feel better about themselves, right? Once you go through that once or twice, it's a waste of time to continue trying to keep your enemies closer, right? So part of one of my things for 2025 is also going to be, keep your friends close, but shut your enemies out completely. Shut them out. Especially if you're on social media like YouTube and other platforms, right? There's no need to keep enemies closer. No need at all. It's going to actually hinder your progress. It's going to waste your time. It's going to wear you down mentally, emotionally, and physically. And let me tell you, what wears me down the most and what I feel wears most people down the most is emotional drain. Your enemies are going to try to suck you into their vortex, into their negative emotions, and into their negative shit stew, right? And they're going to try to get you to emotionally overreact, which will emotionally drain you, which will physically drain you, right? And then, it may incapacitate you to do what you were supposed to do, which to them would make them feel like, oh, we got him, yeah, we got him, yeah. We took him down, right? Right? So, yeah, keep your friends close and remove yourself from all enemies. Now, removing yourself from enemies doesn't mean they're going to stop whatever they were doing before. They're not. They're probably going to amp it up more because you're saying, I'm walking away from this shit. I don't want this shit at all, right? And they want to keep you sucked in because you're their oxygen, right? They can't live without you, figuratively speaking, of course, but maybe literally too, right? You're their oxygen, right? And we all know without oxygen, we're all dead, right? So to these people, if you're their oxygen and you just take that away from them, they're going to fight like hell to get that oxygen back, right? And don't feel sorry for people like that. You walk away. Let them find their oxygen somewhere else. Trust me, they will find oxygen elsewhere. I'm waiting for people to walk on by so I can go. This dog is taking a shit. I don't think that guy picked up this dog shit, but anyway. When the dog shits at the park, you're supposed to have a poop bag and pick it up. Oh well. You don't want me to share my thoughts on why I feel he didn't pick it up. Trust me, you don't want me to say it because it's a stereotype. It's a true stereotype, but I'm not going to go there. Not going to go there right now. It's all good. It's all good. So You got to remove your enemies completely. You don't need them around. Now, when you're younger, and you don't have any experience, like I said, you're going to keep enemies around, you know, maybe one or two sets of enemies around. But after a couple of rounds of going through enemies, you're going to realize it's not worth your time, or at least you should learn to realize that. And the moment you identify negativity from anyone or any group of people, you just remove yourself permanently. Now, if you remove yourself from somebody one time and or a group one time, and then they come back and apologize and they seem sincere, then give them one chance. One chance. If they screw it up again a second time, then you're permanently done. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Right? So you're not going to let it go past 2 times, because you get fooled a third time and then you strike out. Right? That makes you look like a fool. Right? You got to learn your lesson after 2 times. The golden rule is learning your lesson after 2 times. The first time, you have no experience. The first time is where you identify the situation. The second time, you have something to compare it to and say, oh, this happened to me before, it didn't turn out well. I'm never going to put myself in this situation again. So now I'm done. The third time it happens, you'll just ignore it, because now it's drilled into your head. You've identified a situation that's not worthy of your time. Right? It's just not worthy of your time. It's a beautiful night at the park. It's not really totally cold tonight. I actually feel pretty loose today. My sciatica is not as bad. I'm going to be checking up on my sciatica later on this year. I may need a cortisone shot, and that should do it. But you've got to have belief in yourself. You've got to stand up for what you believe in, because that's what defines you. What I believe in is that, to a certain extent, every human being has greatness tucked away or locked deep within them, right? Every human being has greatness. For some, it's very easy to come out and be positive and let it show, let it shine, right? For others, it's tucked away and locked deep within, because they mask it with negativity, because there's something else about them that they don't like about themselves. And what are those things? What are those things that they don't like about themselves? Oh, a major thing is their physical appearance. Some people are extremely overweight, or at least somewhat overweight, right? Some people's wardrobe is not the greatest, right? Some people's hygiene is horrible, right? That's why out here on YouTube, you see certain people that hardly ever show their face, because they don't like the way they look. They don't like their hygiene, right? They don't like the clothes they're wearing. And they know that, they're not a pretty sight to see. But here's the thing. Anyone at any age that's obese or overweight, or doesn't have the greatest wardrobe, or doesn't have the best hygiene, anyone at any age can turn that around. You can choose to turn that around. You can either choose to turn that around and take action and focus on bettering yourself, or continue doing stupid things, which will even further, contribute to your weight problem and hygiene problem and other stuff, right? The number one priority in your life over anything else, before you can even make anyone else a priority, your number one priority is taking care of yourself. In every way, physically, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. And let me tell you, that's another thing we're going to focus on here at the GNA, spirituality. We're going to focus a lot on faith and faith in God and the good Lord Jesus Christ. And again, we're not making this a Bible thumper type of organization, but I believe it's very important that we bring in faith even more in 2025 and beyond. Faith is critical, in my opinion. Like George Michael said, because I gotta have faith for faith for faith. I gotta have faith for faith for faith. Yeah, that's right. God rest your soul, George. Amen, brother. So, for me, I really enjoy uplifting people, motivating people, inspiring people, right? Helping people get over their fears. That's a huge one. Helping people get over their fears, right? I know that's a huge one because I had a lot of fears. I used to have a lot of fears. And don't get me wrong, even the best of us are still going to have some fears every now and then, and I do too, but for the most part, I've overcome most of my fears. And I understand what it takes. It takes a little motivation and inspiration, that's all. Let me, since Tia's here, let me use Tia for example. Tia was talking with me behind the scenes. This is something we can talk about. Tia, it's not a big deal. She was saying, yeah, I haven't done this before, how's it going to go and this and that. And I said, Tia, let me tell you, I understand how you're feeling. I went through this 20 years ago when I first started doing public speaking. It's scary, right? People fear public speaking or being a public figure. They fear that more than death, right? Okay. And I understand it. It can be scary because, especially if you're doing a speech, you're live. You can't take back what you say. If you're live on the air, you can't take back what you say. Now, if you do pre-recorded videos, you can edit stuff. But at one point or another, anyone that's trying to become a public figure is going to have to get used to doing things live in person or on video live, right? But here's the thing I told Tia. I said, Tia, this is something I'm very experienced in. And being on a panel with myself and Don, who have experience doing this, will make it very easy for you. It'll be like having a conversation with friends, except, we have to understand what we do say is being publicly broadcasted live. Now, what I furthermore said is, fortunately, when you're on my channel in the studio, I've got a 1-minute delay between what I say, what we say, and what goes out. So if a mistake is made and we want to dump the delay and cut that minute portion out before it hits YouTube, we can do that. But regardless of that delay, we're just going to have a conversation like good friends, right? And I'll ask you leading questions that you already know the answer to. And just be yourself. And don't worry about what anyone else thinks about you. Don't worry about it because there are people that are going to love you and there are people that are not. And the people that don't love good, decent, down-to-earth people like you, myself, and Don, more so lack self-love. It's not that they don't love us or love what we're doing. They lack self-love. So anything positive to them is very annoying because they're miserable, right? Miserable people don't want to be around happiness or happy people. They're not ready for it. And they may not be ready for it for a while. For some people, they're stuck in that rut all their life, and then they're just gonna die a miserable motherfucker. That's just how it happens for some people. But if we can help it here at the GNA, anyone that's feeling that way, we can help uplift you and, you know, give you that emotional support that everyone needs, whether you're a man or a woman, and, you know, get you in a better place. Your emotional state is huge, you know, and we can help you with emotional support to get you there. But yeah, so, you know, I basically told T, I said, don't worry about it. You're amongst friends. You're amongst experienced people. I'm very experienced at this, but at the same time, I'm very down to earth. And I'm not going to make the show about me. That's another thing that I was talking about with Dawn, and I'll share publicly here. You know, from this point on, anytime I do a show from the studio and I'm hosting a show, I'm going to speak a lot less and give more time for the other people to speak. I will speak less than 5% of the time. And that's because people know who I am. I started these channels. And I don't need to, you know, I don't need to have the spotlight to be happy or satisfied. And that's not the point of the vision. That's not the goal of the GNA vision. The goal of the GNA vision is to make it about everyone, right? And to make it about others, right? How would the organization look if the founder, the president and founder of the organization was selfish and always wanted to be in the spotlight on the shows and have the majority of the airtime? That's not a good look. That wouldn't work. Got somebody coming, so I'm going to wait. I don't know if they're still doing those shows. I think they're going to be doing those shows here tonight at 6:30 and 7:30. I'm going to be done long before that time. I'm going to go one more lap because it's not cold and the music won't start cranking until 6:30, and so we got time. We are at 48 minutes. That's beautiful. Yeah, it still says tonight at 6:30. Show tonight. Well, maybe they are only doing one show now because it's after Christmas. Shows tonight. Okay, shows tonight. Maybe on the last lap I'll go through the vortex over there. 6:30 and 7:30. That is so cool, man. You know, I wonder where he runs the wire. He probably runs it. See right there? He probably runs it from his house to this pole and then across this way. He probably got permission from the city to do it. Well, the city and him work on this together. But I mean, that's just, man, I love that guy's house. I love his setup. Give me a second. I gotta mute. All right. We're far enough beyond the music zone there. And then it's Hispanic music. It's probably still in YouTube's content ID system, but we're on mobile. They don't get you on mobile. Usually they have incidental coverage on mobile. They understand you're going to be in public with background music, so not a big deal. Now, if you're on a laptop or desktop, yeah, that's different. So mobile streams get handled differently through YouTube's content ID system than in studio or laptop or desktop streams. One more lap to go. One more lap to go. There's somebody on the street there. So we're going to wait. Turn on the front light. One thing for myself that's been the most important thing is learning to never give up. I used to give up all the time. Before I reached 30, I would easily give up. And when I hit 30, I still gave up certain things, probably prematurely. And by the time I hit 35 to 40, around that era there, I started to realize more so what my self-worth is and what I was meant to be and how much I enjoy helping people and what my purpose, was meant to be and is meant to be. You have to really enjoy what you do. If you don't enjoy what you do, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And at some point, anything that you're doing just for money, if you truly don't enjoy doing it, it's going to fall apart. It's going to implode at some point. Things like that are not sustainable long term. And that's why I've always told people that when it comes to what you want to do as a career, how you want to pay your bills, you should do something that you love doing, whether you're working for somebody else or preferably working for yourself is the best. But it's not always possible for some people to at least start off working for themselves. So regardless of whether you're working, a W-2 hourly or salary job, or you're self-employed, or you're an independent contractor, right? You should always, always do what you enjoy doing, right? All too often, people will sell out for money, and they'll do things they really don't like doing because there's more money to be made quicker, right? People want a quick way to make money. And then you got people that are secretly very poor and they need to stoop down into doing things that they themselves probably wouldn't have done otherwise because they're desperate for money, right? As far as I'm concerned, regardless of what my financial situation would be at any given point, right? Regardless, even if I was extremely poor, right? I still would only do things that coincide with my purpose. When I was in retail and retail management, what I really enjoyed about it was becoming a leader, because I've always had it within me to be a leader. I love to lead people to success, right? Now, we should even do another stream on this as well, but, what is the definition of a leader, right? A lot of people will hear the word leader and think like, okay, that's just a boss that's going to tell you what to do, right? No. A good boss, if you want to call him a boss, and yeah, they technically are your boss, right? A good boss is going to be more of a leader than a boss. And what a leader does is leads you to success. That's it. Plain and simple. A leader leads you to success, right? A leader is not there to threaten you, attack you, and do this and that. Even though they do those things, trust me, in the corporate world, a lot of times when they've got to reach numbers and it's all for the shareholders, and when people higher up than you need to reach their numbers based on your store level numbers and their district numbers, need to be good for the VPs, in the corporate world, there's always someone above you that needs to hit their numbers, right? The employees need to hit the numbers for the store manager of the store. The store manager needs to hit the store numbers so the district manager, along with the other stores, can hit their district numbers. And then the district numbers in the region, there's typically 4 regions to each company. The district numbers in each region need to be good so the regional numbers are good for the regional vice presidents, right? It all, it all, I would say snowballs downhill, but it doesn't snowball. It basically goes the other way, okay? There's always someone up above you that's dependent on your numbers to be successful, right? That's how the corporate structure, the hierarchy works, right? Oh, by the way, if we do hit one of those super chat goals, 5 super chats at $5 a piece, we got a $50 super sticker yesterday from Official 1SP, like I've been mentioning. And thank you again, Official 1SP, if you hear this. But that only counts as 1 super chat. Even though we shattered the $25 total goal, it needs to be 5 super chats of at least $5 each. It's not even about the amount, the overall amount. It's about the number of super chats. So if we get at least 5 super chats on one of these streams for at least $5, then Don and I will go live before the new year if it happens before that point. If not, we're going to have a new structure in the new year. I maybe even change things up a little bit more. And when I say Don and I will go live together, we'll both be on camera together. Final lap. It's been a great day today. It's been a wonderful day today. I look forward to going home and having some dinner with Dawn and just kicking back and probably also catching up on some rest. So I love when the lights are out, or the lights are on, I mean not out, on. this is the better place to walk if I come out too late. Tomorrow, after the in-studio stream on the other channel, on the main channel, link is below in the description, um, I'm going to do an earlier walk. I want to get out the other trail because it's supposed to be a nice weekend, around 60 degrees and sunny. So it's the end of December and we have some decent weather. Yes, we've had some rain in between, but it really wasn't that bad. Sometimes, if we get extremely heavy rain, the basement of the house will start to flood a little bit. It's not dangerously flooded, and it does have a slow drainage system to the point of where, it doesn't flood into the actual house, but I got to keep an eye on it. And when we have excessive rain, sometimes it just fills up, right? I figured last night, since we had constant rain, it was forecasted to have constant rain, and we did. Like, it must not have been that much because nothing. It's all good. It's been a great day. It's been, anticipating things that could go the opposite of how you'd want them to go, right? Or let's say could go wrong. If you anticipate things, and they end up not happening, that's even better. If they happen, you're prepared for them. When you anticipate things, you're prepared for them. You're preparing for them. And if you anticipate them and they don't happen, even better, right? And that's another thing people need to focus more on, is better preparing themselves in all aspects of life. And that's another thing that, we're going to be talking about in the new year. Being better prepared for every situation, every aspect of life, personally, professionally. Right? Personally and professionally. Who's still around? Are you around by any chance, Tia? I don't think Dawn's around. I think she went to go watch a show. No problem. She's getting ready for the show tomorrow. That's all right. If you leave on around, not a big deal. No worries. Yeah. Yeah, Tia, you're a trooper. I gotta tell you. You are a hell of a trooper. It's rare when you come across, she goes, yep, yeah, yep. When you come across people that are consistent and good people and troopers like you, Tia, you gotta, not take that for granted. You can't take that for granted. You and Sandra and Queen Helen Casey and Lewis Fuller and Alex the Beer Master. And then there are some other people. Sandra Palacio. Whoa, there. Sandra, I was going to say speaking of the devil. But that would be rude of me, Sandra. How are you doing? Merry Christmas to you and yours. Happy holidays. Dawn was here. Dawn was here earlier. So Sandra, I don't know if you got my message. I finally got back to you. I had a lot of stuff going on last night that I had to tend to. I shared more about that privately behind the scenes, but we're doing the show tomorrow. Sandra, if you want to pop on, we're gonna go on at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. TS time Central, and 11 a.m. Dawn's time and my time Pacific on the main channel. And we're going to go on audio only on StreamYard again. So even if you decide to pop on, if you're around, I'm going to put the link for anyone to pop on in the. It's still labeled as Coach Eli Moderator Group chat, but it's the main, co-ed group, and we also have another person, another lady, that is a long time female friend of mine from out here on these YouTube streets. I'm not going to mention who she is. She's protecting which who she is, and she said she might end up coming out publicly again, maybe in 2025. But it'd be great because she would be great to do content with, and she's a very, very wise woman, a little bit younger than most of us. I don't want to steal Tia's. Do you mean thunder? What is that? Is it thunder? Yeah, I think that's what you put there. I'll just listen and then pop in. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry it didn't happen today, Sandra, but I'm sure you got my message behind the scenes. It was pretty interesting, and if you haven't seen the stream from last night on the main channel, Sandra, I believe Tia saw it. You may want to check it out. I did see it. Yeah. Yeah, well. I like the emoji, Sandra. Don would be excited to see both you and Tia here. And then Queen shows up, and then Lewis shows up, and then be nice for everyone to show up all at once. But I know that's not possible. Everyone has different schedules. Yeah, Sandra, after that first time that you came on, you felt pretty good afterwards. It was like riding a bike, right? You ride a bike for the first time, but you didn't fall. And that's good because most people do fall the first time they ride a bike. Without training wheels, that is, right? It was fun, said Sandra. Yeah, no, I mean, being on some live streams, being on a show and having a conversation and having an audience listening to what we're saying, it's not only fun, it's informative, and it fulfills our purpose. For me, it helps me fulfill my purpose, which is the most important thing to me and should be the most important thing to every human being, including women nowadays, because women are working and they have a purpose, and their purpose is far beyond the barefoot, pregnant, and in the kitchen days, right? I got the front light on over here. I can always tell now when I mute the microphone, the little line shows through it. I look for it. I still don't like the spot where the switcher is. It used to be on the left side, but they switched it over to the other side, and that's because now you can choose portrait or landscape for streaming because of the YouTube Shorts. I just don't like streaming in portrait. I like streaming in landscape, widescreen. This is what high definition was meant to be. Anyway, we're on the second half of the final lap, so start getting any final questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. Going to be going off the air probably in about 10 to 12 minutes or so. Something smells really good. Sandra says, I was listening to a guy who was doing drama. He said enough because it wasn't healthy. Was this some random person or anyone that we know? Sandra, it's okay. You can let us. You don't have to mention who it is, but you can say, is it someone we know or is it just some random person on YouTube? Yes, a random person. Is it on YouTube? If it was on YouTube, Sandra, do you have a link? See, Sandra, that's the type of content I'd like to see. It popped up my feed. Yeah, can you send that? Can you send that not only to myself privately, but send it to the groups, please? It was short. That's okay. I prefer longer form videos, but I'll watch a short video too. And within those shorts, sometimes there are links to longer videos. So that's the kind of content I'm interested in. You see, here's the thing. Other content I'd be interested in is, how other drama groups on YouTube act outside of the one drama group that we've all known for the longest time. So to me, I would want to compare. And I've come across, quite a few drama groups that were not tied together. And it's just, it all boils down and leads to the same thing. It all boils down to the same thing. This is the magical, let's go back here. The Magical Bridge Playground. Oh. All right. It's really nice to have lights here that people can bring their kids at night. It's still early. It's probably right around 6:05, 6:10 right now, 10 after the hour. And if they just get more of these LEDs that are very efficient and very bright all over the park, I'm sure they're going to install more LEDs once the other side of the park is done. It's a huge project, though. It's just taken years already. They've been working on upgrading this park for literally probably 3.5 to 4 years already. And it's probably going to take another 3 to 4 years before it's done. And it's probably not even about money, maybe a little bit, but it's probably more about it just takes time. Got to get the parts. Got to keep the park running still, right? And you got to do things in stages. Now, if they were able to close the entire park, they could probably get it done faster. But you know, they don't want to close down. Closing down this park would just affect so many people. It would definitely affect me. I love coming here. But you know, I really, what I really would like to see people do in 2025 is focus on your actual purpose. Okay? Figure out what your purpose is and focus on that. And if you're going to create YouTube content, create your content based on your purpose, not on drama because it's easy money and you're hurting for money so bad that you're selling your soul along with your morals, values, and ethics to stay afloat. I guess you got to do what you got to do, right? But, you know, just remember people that sell their soul to make money, even if they're hurting, right? You're always going to deal with karma in the end. The bottom line is, you know, karma, like I've always said, has no deadline. You mess with the bull, you will get the horns. And karma has no deadline. I've been saying that for almost 7 years now since I've been doing this out here on YouTube, right? And it's true. And you do reap what you sow. You absolutely reap what you sow. Karma has no deadline. You mess with the bull, you will get the horns, right? What you put out, you get back, right? I have seen so many people reap what they sow out here. It's almost comical, even though it really isn't funny. It's more so sad than funny, but it's almost comical at how predictable it is. You know, how predictable things turn out based on the path people choose, right? You take the shortcut, it's predictable that karma's gonna bite you in the ass sooner than you think, right? You take the long approach, it's more sustainable, right? You can build up to it, take your time. There's no hurry. Whatever's meant to be is meant to be. When it's meant to happen, it will happen. A great, fantastic walk today. I like that tree. And they got a nice tree by their window there. That's beautiful, beautiful house. Just a beautiful house. See, a lot of these homes nowadays are not like these. They're not like this. These homes have a front yard and a backyard. Most homes now have a very small front yard and they have little to no backyard. All right, folks, get your final questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. Again, this is a members only live chat. Moderators can chat for free. Members with a $2.99 package or greater can chat here on publicly viewable streams such as this one, where the chat's privacy setting is for members only. We're still looking to build up our members. The moment we get at least 10 members at the $4.99 or greater level, Don and I will start doing On the Couch with Don and Eli again. The $4.99 package will get you these members only live chat streams on the publicly viewable streams here. They'll also get you the members only live streams while they're live, but you will not get members only live stream replays. If you want the live stream replays along with everything else I've mentioned, along with the streams while they're live at members only, at the members only privacy setting, and the members only live chats on these publicly viewable streams, you'll have to go with the $9.99 package. The $9.99 package gets you the replays and the live stream of the members only content, and it'll also get you the members only live chat. So my suggestion would be go with the $9.99. If you're only a live person, the $4.99 is fine. Moderators are not free when it comes to members only content. If I could give it for free to moderators, I would. Unfortunately, that's not how YouTube works right now. In the future, who knows, they may change it, but they haven't done that. So, with that being said, and that was Redwood City Police. They just drove on by. I'm going to walk around. I'm going to go to the vortex. You see, Redwood City Police pulls in. They take a look at me. They're like, "Oh, that's Eli with the selfie stick." Whoops. Hang on a second here. And Redwood City Police just left. They'll come around and they'll just cruise around the lot here, make sure everything's okay, and then they're gone. But, you know, when it's dark and there's not a lot of people around, when it's dark, you know, the first time, you know, they could probably say, they would say something, but I've been doing this so long, they all know me. Well, I cannot go through the vortex because there's a bunch of people with their kids. Okay. We're going to just turn around and go back. Tia says, everyone have a good night. Good night, Sandra. Tia, yeah, I'll send you the link later tonight so you can set it up in the morning. You can set up your StreamYard. And then I'll also put it in the Coach Eli moderator group chat. And I'll also send it out again to everyone about 5 to 10 minutes before we go live tomorrow. And we will meet on the StreamYard about 5 minutes before we go live. Like 3 minutes before we go live. We'll meet on the StreamYard 3 to 5 minutes before. 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, 11 a.m. Pacific. Tomorrow, Dawn, Tia, and I are going to be going live, and we may have some more people pop in. Sandra might pop on in, and maybe some other people from the GNA clan, the GNA moderator crew, the executives, and the ambassadors and all. All right. Beautiful. Episode number 906 in the books. We're heading towards 1,000, folks. The 1,000th episode of Walking with Purpose. Wow. I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm sorry in advance. I'll probably toot my own horn on that one. I will have hoped to have at least earned it at that point to toot my own horn. That is some consistency, and I really want to instill consistency in everyone because consistency goes hand in hand with never giving up. Never give up no matter what. Don't let anyone throw you off your center. Okay? Don't let anyone fool you otherwise. Because everyone has a purpose and everyone was meant to fulfill their purpose. So don't let anyone get in the way of that. With that being said, Have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other. Good night, everyone. See you all tomorrow.